So there's a new case in Japan where there's a driver um, that had an accident, and he was driving a school bus. It was like a bus for high school students, and they were like a tennis club. So the driver was driving on the highway, and then he had an accident, and the bus had 21 passengers, and one of the high school students died or passed away. So this is an interesting case because the driver was actually 68 years old. So he's almost 70 years old, and he's driving a school bus on a highway, which is crazy. Um, so this is like a problem in Japan now, the aging population. Um, Japan now has a lot of old people and not enough young people. So accidents like this might be common um, from now on because a lot of old people are still driving taxis, buses, and a lot of transportation. So the driver is said that he didn't have a license to drive passengers, which means in Japan, I guess there's like two type of licenses. There's a normal license where you can drive a car, a normal car, and there is another type of license where you can drive a vehicle that has passengers. So, for example, if you want to drive a bus or a taxi or a truck, then you need to get a different type of license, not just your normal license. And apparently, the 68-year-old suspect did not have uh, the license that allowed him to drive a vehicle with passengers. Because of this, the bus company is actually taking the blame and the responsibility for the incident, and the bus company is now being investigated. And of course, the old guy is also arrested, but I mean, he's like a 68-year-old guy. Like, you can't like put him in jail. Like, so yeah, this is like an unfortunate accident that happened in Japan, and it's all over the news. Also, another detail that was mentioned on the report is that the old man who had the accident with the bus actually had many accidents um, before the bus accident. So his own car had a lot of damages, and it reported that he had multiple accidents in the previous months before driving the bus. So I think like the bus company needs to like take more responsibility. And actually the bus companies in Japan have been under a lot of pressure in the recent years, and the reason is um, the bus companies are not really profitable anymore because the salaries of the drivers have not changed. And the reason the salaries don't change is because those bus companies don't want to increase the prices of like the bus fares. So, not to mention also like the price of petrol is increasing while the bus tickets or bus fare doesn't change. So there have been like a multiple strikes in Japan recently for the bus companies, and the strike, the people who led the strike are the bus drivers. They're trying to tell those bus companies we need better salaries, and we also need um, better working conditions, because a lot of those bus drivers are working, like driving for very long hours. So they want better working conditions and they want better salaries. However, the bus companies, they know if they increase the um it's very hard in Japan to just increase the price of tickets for the bus. So that's why they cannot like increase the um, salaries, or the improve. They can improve the working conditions, but yeah, it's a growing problem in Japan. It's There is not uh, much that can be done for the employees. But yeah, it's like a difficult situation, I understand, for the bus companies. Like they want to improve the conditions for their employees, but at the same time, they also think about the customers. Like most of the customers don't want to pay more for their bus fares. So yeah, it's like, should you look after your customers or should you look after your employees' dilemma?